Hillary Clinton said, if you're uncomfortable with public speaking, and let's face it, none of us are comfortable. You have to learn how to be comfortable. Practice. Good evening, classmates. Most all of us are uncomfortable with public speaking, and we can all relate to the uneasy feeling you get when you are called on or have to give a speech. Today, I'm going to talk about some of my best and my worst speeches I have given, and also assess my public speaking ability with you. My name is Charles Hines. I'm 20 years old and in my last semester of J. Sergeant Reynolds, majoring in criminal justice. After graduating with my associate's degree, I plan on entering police academy and seeking a job in law enforcement. Like most people, I've never been comfortable with public speaking. In fact, as a kid, I was never comfortable with speaking at all. I was what was called a selective mute. For those who do not know what a selective mute is, it's that I chose simply not to talk in certain places, like school. But thankfully, I outgrew my selective silence when I went into middle school. But one of my best public speaking moments came in my first semester of Reynolds in 2016, when I was chosen to speak in front of a committee in President Rhodes. There was 5 students speaking, including myself. I remember driving to campus that day, and all the uneasy feelings I had once felt before were just not there that day. As I was introduced, I walked straight to the podium and delivered my speech. I was confident what I was going to say, and I was fully prepared. I maintained great eye contact with everyone in the room, and I barely glanced down at my notes. Who needed notes? I had practiced. After I finished, after the applause, I walked down from the podium and I thought, now that was the speech of my life. One of the worst public speeches I've given was in my middle school history class. I remember forcing my shaking legs into a standing position as I made my way to the front of the class. Once I got up there, I looked down at the paper, took a deep breath, and I began to read. Yes, read that entire speech without ever looking up from that paper or at anyone. I was mumbling. My tone was completely flat, with no expression whatsoever. I'm sure not one person in that room understood a word I said. Excuse me, read. Just because I had forced myself up there to read an entire speech, I had thought I'd given the speech of my life. Trust me, that wasn't the speech of anyone's life. I would rate myself a 6 out of 10 on public speaking. There's always things to work on, and like most people, I'm my own worst critic. Learning to emphasize specific points better would engage my audience more. My preparation does need improvement so I can organize my thoughts into a cohesive speech that flows easily and also keeps my audience interested. My research ability is above average, and being able to cite sources correctly is a strength of mine. I believe the more opportunities I have at public speaking, the better at it or more comfortable at it I will become. And like Hillary Clinton said, the more I practice, the better at it I will become, which will help me in all aspects of my life. Thank you all for coming this evening and listening to my speech about the best and worst speeches I have given.